Heidi-ho neighbors, RadoGoji here. It looks like, according to leaks from yesterday and today's Nintendo Direct, that Generation 7 of Pokemon is upon us. Or maybe it's still part of Generation 6, I don't know. They didn't really mention that, but I'm fairly sure this is going on to Generation 7 now. I do know that they revealed some kind of new Pokemon or something. I didn't really get the details, but they revealed a new Pokemon in Korokoro, probably a legendary of some kind. Seeing as it is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon and the whole thing with the announcement of the new games, I figure I might as well put my 2 cents in as to what I think about the new generation and maybe the series as a whole. I've been a Pokemon fan pretty much since the games came out over here around '98, and I'm one to admit I'm a little bit older than most Pokemon fans are. I started playing when I was in 8th grade, which is far kind of beyond-ish the intended demographic. I started off with the, I'm fairly sure that those who have seen some parts of my Pokemon Red Let's Play, I think I mentioned this a lot at the beginning of my Pokemon Red Let's Play, but I started off with the red version. I got the yellow version at some point for some reason. I got gold. I've had sapphire, leaf green, emerald, diamond, platinum, heart gold, black 2, Y, and omega alpha sapphire. So I don't really know which of the new sorry, close my eyes there. I don't know which of the new versions I'm going to be getting. If time holds true, I guess, if the standard trends go on, I'll probably get Sun, but it depends on what the legendary looks like or some stuff like that. I don't even know how the new games are going to be because I guess the starting version pairs of each generation for the past 3 have been meh at best. I'll probably more or less get Sun because the trend has been that I've gotten, when you list off the versions, there's usually an order that people list them in, and I usually go for the first ones that are listed. So like red and blue, I got red. Gold and silver, I got gold. But for every 3rd generation, I've ended up getting the latter of the two. So Ruby and Sapphire, I had Sapphire. Fire Red, Leaf Green, I had Leaf Green. X and Y, I had Y. Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, I had Alpha Sapphire. And I'll probably pick the Water Starter because 9 times out of 10 I'll pick the Water Starter. But I digress. But the thing for me is, like I said, the last few paired generations have been meh to, in my opinion. I can pretty much already speculate what the main plot is going to be. An evil team is going to resurrect a god Pokemon to rewrite the world in their own, based on their own ideals. Because that's basically what it's been since Gen 3. Gen 1 and Gen 2 had Team Rocket, and they were a little bit more believable because they were a Pokemon Yakuza, and they basically just went around doing crime and using Pokemon to do crime. And it was a little bit more, I guess, believable in a game where you catch monsters and put them in the balls and put them into a computer. But it's just, ever since Team Aqua and Team Magma with their let's revive Groudon / Kyogre and overwrite the world's geography to better suit the Pokemon that we like, it's been just kind of just that, and that's all it's been. Diamond and Pearl and Platinum was Team Galactic, is run by a guy who wants to revive the Dialga or Palkia, depending on your version, to rewrite the world in his own image. Black and White started off kind of ambiguous, just taking Pokemon away from people, and it kind of sucked. I don't think it was a bad game, but black and white, at least the black version. I had the black version. Black was certainly the least interesting of the games I played so far. It took me over a year to complete it because I didn't really play it much. I think the way it turned out was I played it quite a bit when it first came out, and I got the first 2 gym badges. Then a month later, I got my 3rd. Then 3, 4, 5 months later, I got the next 2 within a day of each other. And then the rest of the game, I just kind of rushed through after Black 2 came out, just so I could transfer whatever story bits over. It wasn't a great game, and I don't know what the big deal is with it. I know a lot of people like it. I know a lot of people like N. I don't know what the big draw with N was. He was just there and boring, and I didn't like him. Then Black 2 came around, Team Plasma shows their true colors, and they're just trying to get QREM to take over the world by force. So, kind of rewriting the world in their own image of their own ideals by forcibly conquering it with ice lasers. I'll count it. And then, of course, X and Y was Team Flare is trying to revive some sort of god Pokemon, Xerneas or Yveltal, depending on your version, to wipe out all life on Earth except for them. So I wonder what the evil team is going to be, what god Pokemon they're going to try to revive, and how exactly they're going to try to rewrite the world in their own image. News at 11. But I guess I don't even know if I'm going to be getting the new ones right away. It's kind of a thing where I know that with the way that I've been recently, as in regards to games, I have a hell of a lot of games to go through. And I've kind of stopped pre-ordering things unless, A, I know that it's going to be hard to find after it comes out, like some sort of niche title or Atlas game that they very rarely make extensive amounts of copies of. Or B, if it's a pre-order bonus or collector's edition that I particularly want. Those are the only 2 real stipulations I have for pre-ordering games anymore. Everything else, it'll probably be available later. I can just pick it up at a reduced price later on. Pokemon is probably going to be one of those things where they're going, because they makes them a lot of money, they're going to be producing enough for everyone to buy it and not run out of copies. And, you know, failing that, it's going to be available for download. I only really download games if I see them on a really good sale or if I know that I'm never going to get rid of them. Like, I'll even have, like, physical copies of games, and if I like them enough, I'll download the games onto my 3DS or my Vita or my system or whatever, and then trade in the physical copy. Usually on my 3DS. I mean, I have all kinds of games downloaded on there. I got both the Zelda games, I got Star Fox, Pokemon Alpha Sapphire's on there, Monster Hunter. So, with this, if it continues the kind of trend that's going on, I'm not going to want to download it. I'm just going to, you know, play it as much as I can. And then, you know, if a better version comes out, I'll just, like, you know, transfer whatever Pokemon I can over and then, you know, trade that in. Like I did with Y. I don't have Y anymore. I have Alpha Sapphire because I knew I wasn't going to get rid of Alpha Sapphire. And I was right. That was great. But I'm also going through a thing where, for pretty much my entire time as a Pokemon player, I've been trying to get a full physical, fully represented Pokedex, and up to this point I have failed continuously. And it's not something I'm constantly into. It's not something I'm constantly playing. I mean, I'm playing it now, yes, and I'm actually really close to filling out the National Pokedex. Much like with Black 2 on Alpha Sapphire, I have my full regional Pokedex filled out. But then there's getting the National Pokedex filled is going to be a hell of a lot easier now that a lot of the Pokemon that I've been missing for years, like Mew, I have a Mew now because they're giving away all the mythicals, up through Generation 5 mythicals, because of the 20th anniversary. So I finally have a Mew that I can call my own. I'm finally going to have a Manaphy. I'm finally going to have an Arceus. I pretty much have everything else. But there are 2 Pokemon that I'm currently missing that I don't really have an easy way of getting right now, and those are Xerneas and Hoopa. Because I didn't have the X version, I had the Y version, so I don't have Xerneas. And you know, if you go online and try to get a trade for it, they're all asking for this thing that I don't want to get rid of. Because that's how Pokemon trading works. You can ask for anything, and there are people asking for, I'll give you this level 1 Bidoof if you give me a level 100 Celebi, or something like that. Look it up, it's probably true. But yeah, Xerneas is one of those things where they want a mythical for it, and I'm not getting rid of any of my mythicals unless I get doubles of them. And with, you know, I already have a Celebi, I have a Jirachi, I have, Shaman, Darkrai, Keldeo, Meloetta, and Genesect. So, with the doubles of those, I at the very least have some kind of bargaining chips for me to get a Xerneas and a Hoopa. I didn't get the Hoopa during the distribution because I don't go to fucking McDonald's. Then that was kind of the main thing, because I'll get them through the internet, which they should all be just going through the Wi-Fi. They should just be doing that. That's like the main thing that they should be doing, is focusing on the Wi-Fi. But they do have Pokemon that are basically distributed through usually GameStop. And I know I don't have a problem with GameStop, but there are a lot of people who don't like to go to GameStop, or like to get off their butts and go out to the store just to get a mythical Pokemon. And I can understand that. I mean, I'm not that big of an advocate for, you know, online shopping or anything like that. I mean, I'll do it if there's nothing else, and if there's no other way to get something, I'll get it online. But otherwise, I'll get off my ass and go to the store. But, you know, for special Pokemon distributions, where you can't even get it through Wi-Fi now, you get a card where you have to put in a code while you're at home to get it. Which I think is a little better, because then you can just send someone to go to the GameStop and get a card for you, which is fine. But McDonald's? Really? I don't eat at McDonald's. I mean, I haven't eaten at McDonald's in years. I'm normally I'm more of a Taco Bell, Firehouse. Usually for burgers, I'll go to Five Guys if I don't mix them at home. But McDonald's is not usually a place I go to. And apparently not every McDonald's was distributing Hoopa anyway, because my friend works near McDonald's, and he actually goes to that McDonald's quite a bit, near where he works. And he took his Omega Ruby with him, and they weren't distributing Hoopa. So it makes me wonder, you know, if it's just, I don't know if it's basically just, you know, a few select McDonald's. But, yeah, don't do it through restaurants. Seriously. I mean, it's just... I mean, I'll get off my ass and go to GameStop. I get off my ass and go to GameStop every week. I meet my friend there, and we go to lunch every Friday. He works at GameStop, so I meet him at the GameStop. But I don't get off my butt to go to restaurants every day. Switching hands. So I think that I would not have gone for the let's use a fast food restaurant to distribute our Pokemon. I mean, I'm fairly sure that, I mean, they do that kind of shit all the time in Japan. I know that they have like special 7-Eleven Kamen Rider shit, because they're a whole lot more relaxed with that kind of retail distribution. Whereas with the U.S., it's more along the lines of retailers that actually sell video games, like Best Buy and even like Best Buy, Target, Walmart. I'm sure they have special distributions. Toys R Us, especially, they're like the kings of getting exclusive deals. But most Pokemon go through GameStop, and I don't know why they didn't get Hoopa through GameStop, but that's a mythical I don't have. And yeah, I'm gonna have to have some kind of bargaining chip to get one, or that same friend who actually went to get the distribution Hoopa, he already has a Hoopa. He got one from a friend of his or something like that back on X and Y when somehow they got hacked into the game and people have been wonder trading them or something like that. I have no idea. But he got a Hoopa. And I know that he doesn't play turn-based Pokemon games anymore, really. He's been playing Super Mystery Dungeon. That's pretty much it. And he has the X version. So I may just ask if he can give me his Xerneas and Hoopa, because I know he doesn't care. I'm like the only one I know who's actually trying to get a fully represented Pokedex here, and this is like the one shot I have at doing it. Now I have a viable shot of doing so, and I don't have fucking Hoopa because of stupid distribution at fast food restaurants I don't go to. I mean, I'm not going to make that big a deal out of it. I just think it wasn't the most logical of choices for that. And Volcanion, we haven't seen anything about Volcanion yet. I know that Volcanion has been known outside of public release because Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, they don't actually acknowledge a Pokemon's existence until they officially announce it. But we all know data miners and hackers are always looking in, and we know what all the mythical Pokemon are. We've known Volcanion has existed for a couple of years now. Since X and Y have been out, we knew about Volcanion. And we haven't heard anything from them. And they're already announcing, like, Gen 7 already. Then again, I think Gen 6 was already announced before they came out with Genesect. No, Genesect came out the same day as Black and White 2, so that was before they announced X and Y, like right before they announced X and Y. But we've already announced Generation 7, and we haven't heard hide nor hair from Volcanion. So I don't know how that's going to be distributed. If it's going to be at fucking McDonald's again or something like that, we don't know. But yeah, I am looking forward to getting all those mythicals that I, for years, have not been able to get. I mean, seriously, with Arceus, they could have done that a lot better than they did. It was just like one distribution for a movie. I don't go to see the movies because I don't like the anime. Oh yeah, Pokemon fan who doesn't like the anime. No, I don't like the anime at all. I think it's I understand it's like a different continuity from the source material, and that's fine. But it's just something where I used to like it as a kid because I was just all about Pokemon when I was, well, early teens. I was all about Pokemon. So I liked the anime just because it was Pokemon. But as time went on, I found, the characters became less and less likable, especially the main character who was an absolutely incompetent moron. And I started liking it less and less, and I just stopped watching it altogether because it was stupid. And people will still like the default names for the Pokemon trainers in Gen 1. The default name for the Pokemon trainer that you play as is Red. The default name for the rival character is Blue, and yet they keep calling them Ash and Gary. Even though Nintendo has come out and said that they are completely different characters. Now, it doesn't really piss me off, but it is a tad bit annoying because I am kind of anal about things like that. But, I mean, if you want to do that, I just like to... Switching hands again. I just like to distance the game from the anime as much as possible because the anime is not great. And I don't know anything about the manga or anything like that, so I don't have an opinion on those. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Also, I am still very much on the fence about getting the Gen 1 games on the Virtual Console. I know that they did announce during the Pokemon Direct that you can use Pokemon Bank to transfer your Gen 1 Pokemon into Gen 7. Which is fine, but I don't know if I'd be willing to really do that. Especially considering that I have all those Pokemon in Gen 6 already, so I'm probably not even going to mess with that. Gen 1's probably not even going to get a full Pokedex in that. But, who knows? Who knows what time will bring? But I'm still on the fence about even buying the damn things. Like I've said before, on the one hand, there is a lot of nostalgia factor going into it, and I will be getting Pokemon Red. Pokemon Red is not a bad game. I have fond memories of Pokemon Red. But with as far as we've come compared to Gen 6, which, works well enough, compared to Gen 6, Gen 1 is a glitchy, unbalanced mess. And when I use the word mess, I am exaggerating. But it is glitchy, it is unbalanced, I mean, I'm not particularly one who likes to just get an Alakazam and then sweep the entire game with that. That's not the way I like to roll. It is a good game. I do have some nostalgia going for it, but at the same time, I'm pretty much have been in the mindset where, well, I mean, that's great for people who really like Gen 1. We all know people who like Gen 1 and like nothing else, but at the same time, I didn't think that the formula and everything was really perfected until Gen 2. I think Gen 2 is like the earliest generation I really truly care about. And I started in Gen 1. But I'm pretty much in a mindset where, because of how far we've come, I really can't go back to Gen 1. It's just gonna feel kind of weird doing that. And I know I've said that before. I mentioned I don't know why I started a Pokemon Red Let's Play. I really should have gone for a Pokemon Leaf Green Let's Play in that particular case, but I didn't. I mean, right now I'm pretty much at a point where they say they haven't given out any details on Sun and Moon. We know that they're coming out holiday this year. We don't know anything else about them other than you'll be able to transfer Gen 1 Pokemon from the Virtual Console games via Pokemon Bank, and also probably that new Pokemon they revealed is somehow going to be involved in this, probably. I am going to play Sun or Moon, depending on... There's going to be a lot of things that will determine which one I want to get, but I'm not going to pre-order it, and I'm not really as excited for it as I probably should be. Because I know it's just going to be the same lackluster story that it's been for the past few generations. I mean, I kind of liked it when Gen 3 did it, and I still kind of do, but then when Pokemon started becoming gods and the story became exactly the same, or at least exactly the same premise, it got boring. And Gen 5 was definitely a low point. It was a very high point, too. Black 2 was fantastic, but Black and White were like the worst they've had so far. I couldn't get into them at all. And then after that, like I said, Black 2 was amazing. And then I got Y, and Y was able to keep my interest enough for me to actually play it continuously, but at the same time, they could have done a lot better with it, which is why I'm glad that they kind of did with Alpha Sapphire, although I do wish they did keep some things. In fact, there are a lot of things that I wish they kept over the years. I wish they kept the berry pots from Heart Gold and Soul Silver, because I fucking hate the way the berry system is now, and I hate how they won't change it back to the way it was in Gen 2. It was fine in Gen 2. It was basically, you see a berry tree, you pick a berry. The berry will grow back at midnight, and then you can go back and get it again. Gen 3 came around and said, oh no, we want to complicate it now, so we changed the way all the berries work. Well, they didn't change the way they work, they just kind of renamed them so that you can't really tell what they do unless you actually look at the description and stuff, which isn't that big of a deal in hindsight, but no, you have to plant them yourself, and you have to water them yourself, and then they'll grow, and then if you don't pick them within a certain amount of time, then the plant will disappear, and they'll be lost forever. And if you planted a particularly rare berry, you're fucked. And they kept doing this. They made it a little better with the Pokétch in Gen 4. You could have a berry map that would allow you to see where you planted and which berries were available to pick. So you could go there. I mean, you still would have to go out of your way if you went to a particularly out-of-the-way berry thing, which I hated. But at least that made it a little bit better. Then Heart Gold and Soul Silver came around and brought in the berry pots. Now, the berry system was still the same. You still had to plant them yourself. You still had to water them yourself. You still had to pick them yourself before they went away. But it was done in a convenient key item that you had with you at all times. And you could check on it whenever you wanted, and you didn't have to go out of your fucking way to go and pick them. And it was fantastic. And that's one of the reasons why I personally like Heart Gold as like my favorite one, because they were able to do the berry system right again. And then Gen 5, they decided to say fuck that, and, let's just go back to the way it was. Because that was so great the first time. It wasn't. And, and they came full circle with Alpha Sapphire, because it's a Gen 3 remake, so it's back to the way it fucking was in the beginning. So, they're probably not going to fix that. The other main things, I think they should have kept the Poketch, like improved upon the Poketch, and not just like ditched it, because I loved the Poketch, all the different apps and stuff that you could get, and that they were so useful. Like you could check your berry map, you could check your friendship at any time, you could check your Pokemon in the daycare at any time. But nope, they decided to just, in Gen 5, they replaced that with, well, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they brought back the Poke Gear, which I was kind of disappointed with. I mean, the Poke Gear was great, but now that I've had the Poketch, I don't want less functionality. And they basically brought in less functionality, with the trade-off, in favor of, I should say, a fully touchscreen controlled menu, which is okay, I guess, but I'd rather have the Poketch. And they never really brought the Poketch back. Gen 5, they had the C Gear, which all it did was just do stuff with wireless and online communication with other games. And Gen 6 had the Pokemon Ami and Super Training thing, which was then expanded into the PokeNav Plus in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which was fine, but I'd rather still have the Poketch. It still did more than any of the other things did. And then we've got a couple of other things from Gen 6 that I wish they would have kept in, X and Y, rather, that I wish they would have kept in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. First off, I liked the roller skates. I mean, yeah, you do get a bike, but I liked how, with the roller skates, you could go faster than walking, but there were just certain areas you couldn't go into. And it was, balanced enough so that was fine. I liked how, you could walk around with the D-pad and use the circle pad to roller skate around. But no, they got rid of that in favor of being able to sneak up on Pokemon you find with the Poke Radar, which I thought was kind of much. And the character customization. Why did they get rid of that? I mean, I can understand why in regards to the berry system as well, how, it is a remake of Ruby and Sapphire. And they do want to make it true enough to those games. But they added stuff too, like Episode Delta. And Episode Delta even says that, there might be another dimension out there where, the same events happen, but there's no Mega Evolution. Yeah, that's Ruby and Sapphire. It is a remake, yes, but it's set in a different continuity. So you can, do whatever you want with that. I would have rather had the character customization stay. I liked that in X and Y. Hopefully they'll bring that back for Sun and Moon. I mean, what I'd really like to have, truthfully, is, yes, another remake of Gold and Silver, but those are my favorite ones, or Gold particularly was my favorite one. So I would like, to be able to play an updated version of that with the updated battle system, because we've had, many updates to the battle system since then that I think were pretty nice in balancing things. With the Poketch, and basically Heart Gold, with the upgraded battle system, the Poketch, and the character customization, possibly roller skates. That's what I would want. But we'll have to see what Sun and Moon brings to the table in regards to Pokemon in general. But yeah, as of right now, I'm still very much on the fence as to whether or not I'm getting a Virtual Console Gen 1 game. And I don't know if I'm going to be getting Sun and Moon right away. It would depend. I guess it would have to depend on whether or not I fill up my Pokedex before then. But either way, I'm pretty much calling it to be the same blasé plot that Pokemon has had since Gen 3. And, yeah. But who knows? I could be surprised. I've just been a cynical bastard in video games in general lately, so that might be contributing to that a lot. But who knows? Like I said, maybe they'll surprise me, and maybe we'll get a really good game as a starting pair this time around. But that's just my 2 cents on the whole Pokemon thing, and I am looking forward to Gen 7 and seeing what it holds, but as of right now, I'm going to get back to Alpha Sapphire and see what I can do about filling out that damn Pokedex, because I got 600 Pokemon in there now, and I need about 120 left right at the moment. 121 if Volcano never gets the hell over here. I've been RadoGoji, and I'll be here next time. Join me, won't you?